Hi Libra, this is going to be your June 2021 cosmic forecast. We will deep dive into your month ahead and beyond using the tarot, using oracle and astrology. Let's get right into this reading. I've been shuffling and meditating. I don't want to waste time, Libra. Let's go to the past first. What have you been experiencing? What has been going on? So how I'll structure this is pull some cards initially for past, present, future. Then we'll pull more to clarify. We'll look at these together as the spread goes on. But let's just get out what we need to. First card up, Major Arcana, the Magician card. And with the Four of Wands, you're creating, or you have been creating, something super stable. Four of Swords in reverse. Something that you had been thinking long and hard about, and you have finally felt the courage to act on it. And you've been, telling yourself that, you don't deserve this, that you feel guilty, or you're taking something away from others. But all in all, you have created something for yourself recently, Libra, where you're utilizing your full set of skills and you're owning it. Okay, I will go into these cards deeper and clarify, but for now, let's just get out what we need to. Present energies coming up around June 2021 for Libra. Remember, Libra, the timing on these videos, whenever you catch them, energy time is fluid. So just take what resonates today and leave the rest. Five of Pentacles in the month of June, followed by the Ace of Swords. And then we've got the King of Wands. Okay, so any kind of scarcity, money issues that you're facing at the moment, you get clear on how to be stronger in that sense, or you get clear on how to utilize those skills that you've been honing in the past, and you were like, okay, I'm going to create something stable. Money won't be an issue then. I think some of you are considering like how you're going to be your own boss this month, how you're going to just work for yourself and not have to answer to anybody else, and how you're going to show the full force of the skills that you have. Okay, so let's get some cards out for future energies coming up around the sign of Libra. And then we'll get into the astrology and the oracle after we break down some of the messages so far. So end of June, stepping into July, what kind of energy can Libra expect? Temperance. Okay, that's good. Okay, so then we've also got the Seven of Pentacles. There's frustration and a little bit of a weight, Ten of Cups, on your workflow and this initiative that you're like, I want to be my own boss. I want to utilize all of my skill sets in the most productive way possible. There's a bit of a slowdown and frustration at that by the end of the month. Might be just like the, post-Mercury retrograde shadow that we're feeling and things. And Saturn is still retrograde, so we still have that sluggishness. But the one thing that's really like is going leaps and bounds ahead of you, and what's not slowing down at all, is your emotional fulfillment and your time with family, friends, connections with loved ones, a partner, a boyfriend, girlfriend. That's not slowing down, and that's where we're starting to see, while work and money issues might be a little frustrating this month, tempering or the flow between your relationships and personal relationships might have really been needing some tending to, and that's what we can see happening. Let's take this back for just a moment before pulling more cards, right? So there's like this lingering sense of guilt that you have, Libra. It's coming from the past, it's still present with you. I feel like it's even going forward. So you have this real guilt or anxiety about something. It's like some sort of a worry, and I feel like it's attached to this, like you have decided now that you're taking up space and like you deserve everything that you kind of are getting. So I don't know, like you're getting everything you deserve, but you have this sense of guilt around that, or you feel like shrinking when in fact you should really be taking up space and feeling very strong in like what it is that you're supposed to be doing. Like it's owed to you and you know it is, but you still are shying away from something. Okay, so the Magician card and the Four of Wands. You have created something stable for yourself by using your skills that you took with you from other lifetimes, skills that you took with you from this lifetime, but they've become really, really valuable to you. Some of you have like really stepped up into like the most advanced phase or most advanced stage of your knowledge on something, and like you feel like you can't really learn anymore. Now it's kind of the time where you have to start applying your skills rather into like a practical way. And I see building something, I see making something really permanent that has been coming up for you. So okay, so for some of you, you've actually like found a stable home situation or found yourself in a really stable, committed company situation, okay? Now, there is an element of you feeling like you've been thinking very long and hard about things and you're like resisting putting this into motion now. Some of it's already happened, but like you still are contemplating certain points of it and like thinking things through, like, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? Maybe some typical Libran indecisiveness around it, but the time for thinking and contemplation seems to be over. It's time for you to step out with some more self-confidence and more like, I'm seeing that like you need to realize that, oh, it's imposter syndrome. That's what I'm trying to think. King of Wands is not imposter syndrome. It's like, oh, of course I'm going to be doing this role, like I'm meant for it and I'm totally qualified and I'm an expert, I'm a pro. So there is like this like overthinking the imposter syndrome with the Four of Swords. We'll clear it up, but there seems to be some sort of a money worry coming up. Or else there was like it's this attached, the Five of Pentacles can either be money worries, some sort of a scarcity mindset, and if it isn't just like necessarily money, it's this sort of scarcity mindset about yourself, like I'm not enough. That's that imposter syndrome coming through. You get clear on that and break away from it, and there's a really nice, like Five of Pentacles is scarcity or feeling like not good enough basically, and it comes from like maybe a past rejection that you felt in your field or in a personal relationship that's made you, that's what it's stemming from, like this I'm not good enough kind of a thing. Somebody didn't see you or recognize you and you should have been recognized, and that still eats away at you because you know that you actually deserve to be recognized in a professional setting or in a personal setting, whereas you now get clear on what it is that you need to do to become more confident. So you have like this penny drop moment in the month of June where this turns around and this I'm not good enough turns into like, oh, not only am I good enough, like obviously I should be getting this, like, or I should be stepping into this role, or I should be stepping up. I feel like progression, promotion, getting more recognized for your talents, skills, is coming up in the month of June. Now we have to park the money issues by the end of the month because our personal relationships really need our focus. Family, love connections, whatever it is, and we've had to learn there could have been some tempers flaring or some, well, we were in the middle of eclipse season now, Libra, so I'll get into that astrology and what that means for your sign, but like something may happen mid-June, around between the 10th and the 15th of June, or even the 8th and the 15th of June, that kind of week period there in mid-June, that, you know, things get a bit chaotic and a bit messy, and by the end of the month you are kind of making all that harmonious again, and like kind of like bringing some soothing energy and tempering all the harsh words. And just be careful, we are in a Mercury retrograde, which like really is a signature for miscommunications and just like annoying nuisances. Eclipse energy is different. Eclipse energy isn't just like a oh my god, faux pas, I slipped on a banana peel and fell, how inconvenient, with no lasting ramifications. Like Mercury retrograde miscommunications, they are not built to last. They're built to teach us something about ourselves, how we can pause and reflect, but an eclipse chaos, slip of the tongue, that's destined, unfortunately. So eclipses are hypercharged full moon energy or new moon energy that fuel our destiny. So things that are said in that 8th to 15th of June period, watch out, because they will have longer lasting ramifications, the fallout from that. And I see you for some reason like piecing things together and soothing things out. Maybe it's a bit of like Libran mediation going on, but for some reason you have to park the issues around your money concerns. You're not steamrolling ahead with them. They're at a standstill regardless. It's frustrating for you. That's that Saturn retrograde energy. But the 10 of Cups for me is saying like, okay, before I get into these, let's talk about the astrology. That's just saying that you need time to focus on your personal relationships. I'm going to show you these cards, Libra. So let's have a look, okay? Let's have a look at this. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so here's our cards laid out for us here. Hopefully you can see them. Well, you probably could see them before I just slammed my hands through them like that, so unnecessary. Okay, let's talk briefly about the astrology, and then I'm going to pull an oracle card for you. So Libra rising. I like to read this from the position of the rising sign. Now Libra, you hopefully will get some clarification through this, because this is like from your solar house essentially, but rising sign astrology is much more applicable. So Libra, if you know your rising sign, go check the video for that out. For example, you might be a Libra sun, Sagittarius rising. Go check out the video for Sagittarius. For this quick little couple of minutes, I'll go through the astrology. So biggest thing I guess is happening is eclipse season. Libra rising, these eclipses fell on 26th of May in your 3rd house, and will another one will occur on June 10th in your 9th house. That's the axis of travel, learning, higher education, communication, thought processes and concepts. So you might be taking a break from social media around this time, so you might be traveling. So travel, social media, sibling relationships are changing at the moment. You might have like learned a new way to communicate with a sibling, or there was a breakdown in communication with like a sibling, an aunt or an uncle, or someone in the neighborhood, community board, neighbors in your building, some sort of a snafu on communication with them around the eclipses. I see travel coming up for Libra rising, even if it's a short trip in the month of June. You could have already taken it, but I do see another short trip coming up for you. Could be further afield, but definitely some sort of a travel. And I see for some like just taking a break from social media coming up around these eclipses. I also see just like a real change in how you communicate with people on a day-to-day. Libra rising coming up with these eclipses. Saturn is retrograde, went retrograde on May 23rd. This is a longer retrograde cycle, 5 months. So what will happen, this was in Libra's 5th house of creative expression, affection, joy, dating and romance. This is going to be, 5th house is ego. Do you do your creative pursuits for joy for yourself, or is there some ego attached to it? Now that's not wrong if there is, but you just need to check it. You need to see why you're really doing it. Is it from a soul-centered point of view, or is there some sort of an ego-driven reason, and you have to find a balance there, okay? Because we want to align more with the soul purpose. That's how I read tarot at least. And so then what will happen during this retrograde is we'll start to get clear on our talents. Are we using them? Are we fully recognizing our talents and our skills? And how are we using them? Do we use them just to get attention? Or do we use them to bring any like purpose into our own life or enrich the lives of others? When Saturn moves stations direct at the end of October, you will be much clearer on why you use your talents, what your individual gifts as well and talents are, and how you can like make them more efficient basically, and how you can enrich the lives of yourselves and others via these talents. Now, you might be also a sort of thinking, who do I give my attention, my affection to? And you need to restructure who you're wasting your time, basically giving affection and attention to, and why. Is it ego, satisfaction, or is it something else? So these are the things that you may be thinking about, Libra. Okay, eclipses we've talked about. Okay, I think that's going to be fine for now. Unless something comes up that we want to talk about the Jupiter transit for the month of June and July. Basically, Jupiter will be in Pisces for June and July, and Libra rising, that's your 6th house of day-to-day. So your routine is going to be getting a lot better over June and July, Libra rising. What you do in your weekly routine, your daily routine, monthly routine is going to really expand, and there's going to be a lot more opportunity created in that capacity. Okay, let's get back to things card-wise, and let's just pull a card now from this oracle, and we'll take this as a message from Libra's highest, most compassionate self to them right now. What does Libra need to know from their highest, most compassionate self about their journey? Sweeping Sister Willow, and it's number 31. That might be a relevant number to you, or else maybe the number 4. Sweeping Sister Willow. Let's read about that. Okay, so it says, Yes, sweeping sister Willow gently brings you healing for forgiveness and release of old pain now. Let her branches gracefully sweep any sadness and pain from your heart and soul. Your time for greater inner freedom is dawning, and the cleansing of sadness and healing of forgiveness is the pathway to that greater freedom now. You deserve this freedom, and you are swiftly becoming ready to gift it to yourself with the help of Kuan Yin. Wow, okay, so 5th house and freedom and gifts are all very associated, like what we were saying with this Saturn retrograde. Saturn is not free. It's actually very constricting and very restrictive and binding. So maybe during this next 5-month cycle, you will see how your gifts can set you free, how your talents can set you free, and how, you know, and how your ego is sometimes a trap, Libra, okay? So this goes on to say that forgiveness is a way to raise your vibration by shedding old energies that drain you and prevent you from having all your power available to you now. It is a chance to free yourself from suffering and empower yourself. This card guides you to forgive others and yourself abundantly and freely now. You may be very aware of your own need for forgiveness, or this may come as a surprise to you, in which case be open to hearing the truth of who or what needs to be forgiven and released from Mother Willow from deep within your own heart. Could be something small, like an incident from when you were a child, something could have come up now, but you know, it's the forgiving energy is going to be what kind of raises your vibration. I did seem like this sort of sense of like guilt coming through the reading. Yeah, oh wow, 9 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. That's guilt, okay? So do you need to forgive yourself for something? Are you carrying like a lot of guilt about something, Libra? If so, you know it's not going to really help you, but feel free. So I think it's safe to let it go and forgive yourself. I feel like it's more of a forgiving of yourself than others at the moment, Libra. I don't usually see a forgiving of others on this spread here, but maybe I'm wrong, maybe there is. Let's have a look now and go back row by row. I want to clear up the Magician, the 4 of Wands, and the 4 of Swords. Let's take a few more messages from that for Libra. Two of Swords. And the 8 of Swords. You're still very much at odds about what did everything work out fairly. You're still very much at odds, and these swords are representing like kind of daggers in the mind almost, or mental triggers. You feel like, oh, did I deserve that? Did they deserve that? Oh, that you feel like something was really unkind, and you were very much trapped in your mind about this, and it wasn't very easy for you because you weren't getting that kind of flow of communication that I see coming through by the end of the month. So if there was a situation where it's like a forgiveness needed for the other, even that kind of came through in the oracle, it's been really hard to make that happen between you and have that energy flow between you and that person, because you haven't been able to talk to them. They have a wall up, you maybe have a wall up, maybe both of you do, but there is like a block in communication, and as a result of that, you're left with basically coming to your own conclusions in your mind about what the resolution is or what they're thinking, because you don't have their communication. So you're kind of thinking worst case scenario, I bet. What I will say, if there is a conflict that needs to be resolved, try and wait till after the retrograde and that we're a little bit further out of eclipse season. So by 22nd of June, Mercury will station direct. Try and hold off, if it's possible, any important conversations that need to happen until the end of the month, because Mercury retrograde can just add more confusion, and eclipse season is much more potent and, you know, fueled with, you know, like possibility for destruction basically, and I think this communication error was all down to beliefs, and third house, ninth house, where these eclipses are for Libra rising, is totally about communication and beliefs and opinions, and you just don't think something was really fair. If this was about you creating something stable for yourself and fully using all of your skills, you're still very much in this imposter syndrome, and you have a decision to make, like, what should I pick? Oh, and this one is in reverse. I didn't realize that. This is actually the upright version. So the reverse is saying, like, you're really not able to see things clearly at the moment. You're in a mental bind, you're playing worst case scenario in your mind, and you're carrying still a lot of guilt, and it's really preventing you from seeing the truth about what it is that that you should be creating and the skills that you have. You think, no, I'm not worthy, or something with another person or communication with others has really set you back recently, Libra. Let's look into this middle row here. Five of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, and the King of Wands. Ace of Swords, I should say, my bad. Let's have a look at the middle present energy row for Libra. The King of Cups. Okay, and the Six of Wands. Well, we're definitely headed for something that's very successful in June, and you're really following your hustle. So you're motivated in a huge way in June to get away from these feelings of scarcity, rejection, or abandonment, and forge something for yourself as an individual, so that you don't need to rely on others' approval. You don't need to rely on others for money or resources. Everything is going to be yourself. So you're going to be stepping into a role this month that's much more responsible for yourself, responsible for your mental health, your money, your goals and your ambitions. All of that stuff is all falling on you for now. Very Leo energy coming through, so we will have Mars and moving into Leo. So we're all going to be a bit more egotistical when Mars is in Leo as a collective, but that's not bad, because this is giving you that sort of more of a confidence boost that you needed to steer away from this imposter syndrome that's been kind of all hanging over you, right? And this King of Wands is no imposter, okay? They deserve to be where they are. They deserve all the recognition and acclaim and esteem that they receive, and they know it. So that's where we need to get you, Libra. And how will you get that? You balance your emotions, you stop, kind of like center yourself a little more. If this little mini breakaway involves getting to the water or the beach or the hot sand, that's going to be really, really beneficial for your overall like emotional well-being and state of being. For some of you have family out by the water or by the ocean, and that's who you're going to go and need to be tending. It mightn't be the ocean, river, lake, but you need to go there and smooth things out with the family, or smooth things out with an older relative, I'm seeing for some. But headed for success, ultimately using all your skills, and you're feeling really motivated and on your hustle this month, okay? I think you're really ready for a change. King of Cups and Death card at the bottom of the deck. There's a lot of fixed energy coming through. Fixed energy is Taurus, Libra, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And I feel like you aren't initiating something this month, Libra. You are seeing something through, not fully to completion, but the bulk of it. You're getting the bulk of it done, and you're kind of sticking with something this month. There might need to be some sort of a personal transformation that happens this month, and I feel like it comes after the eclipses, after the 10th of June, where you have transformed in how you think, specifically how you talk to others on a day-to-day basis, how you understand them, and all the communication is not something you've always thought about as something that's so important, or like something that's a big part or facet of your personality or of your life in general, but it really is so important right now, Libra, to think about how you communicate and think about what you do. It's something about gaining affection from others. Like, why do you want affection from others? Is it just for attention, or is it something that, fills you up and makes you feel good, and it's reciprocated? I just feel like there's a little bit of one-way attention and affection at the moment. By the end of the month, we see it kind of balanced out, and I see like spending time with family coming up, and then really like putting, diving headfirst into creative and artistic pursuits as well. So let's clear that up a bit. Going to the end of the month, I feel like you have to mediate some sort of a family drama, or get people talking again. Temperance card is water flowing between these vessels. Watch out for drinking. You may need to kind of moderate that, or stay on the water, stay on the fruit juices. Something like that is coming up, just so you can be more clear about how to tackle these family issues, and then also the stress you feel about investments not paying off and just how long something is taking. Let's clear up Temperance and Seven of Pentacles, Ten of Cups. Three of Cups. Now that's the reconciliation. Wow, okay, great. And then we've got, this is the Eight of Wands. Okay, so that's the reconciliation. That's when everything becomes fair. So what you thought wasn't fair in late May going into June, and maybe you thought like, oh wow, everyone's out to get me, or no one's getting me, or miscommunications. Once the retrograde state is over, Mercury retrograde is over by, I think it's June 22nd, and that's when I asked you, could you wait until then to reharmonize and reconcile with friends or siblings or whoever it is. That's this Three of Cups, is this sort of free-flowing energy, connection, happiness and harmony, and that's when I think you're really going to be able to make the amends that you want to. Travel is definitely indicated again with the Eight of Wands, and especially around eclipse season for Libra rising, falling in the houses of travel, and kind of there's like a kind of commerce situation here, like a merchant buyer, merchant seller, so maybe like sales is something that's going to be coming up for you as well. But overall, end of the month, a lot of travel and going back and forth is what I'm seeing. Okay, Libra, that is going to be your reading for June 2021. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch up with you guys again soon. Bye.